Hello everyone, so the package we're going to be doing today is ggplot2. ggplot2 is a plotting system for R. It's based off the grammar of graphics, and we think it takes all the good parts of base and lattice graphics, and none of the bad parts. So rather than showing you how to install the package, we're just going to dive straight in. Today we're going to be showing you how base plotting compares to ggplot2, and some of the features inside of ggplot2. So creating a simple data visualization for the cars dataset, find the relationship between distance and speed, we can see that we get a very simple data visualization, and it shows us the relationship between speed and distance. And this is really good because we're able to see these relationships, but not the best looking graph for presentations. So when going straight into ggplot and the qplot function, we're again able to pull distance and speed, color code things by speed to create a better emphasis on the differences in speed. We're able to change the size and add a title using the main. And again, we think that this is going to be a much better looking data visualization with a few extra lines of code, all using this qplot function. And this, I think, is kind of a good intro to kind of the power behind ggplot2 and how we're able to code in numerical and categorical variables and add a lot of customization into our graphics. So diving into more complicated data set, such as Diamond's data set, we think this shows kind of the more stark differences between the two. And we're going to be pulling the caret and the price on the diamonds data set. We're going to be color coding things by the color of the diamonds and adding a title all in the base plot. And this graphic can be kind of very jumbled up because of so many data points, and we don't think that plot and base plotting in R kind of does a good job of handling this all. So again, we're going to go over to the qplot function and write, again, very similar line of code because qplot kind of uses very similar techniques as plotting does. And we're able to get a much better looking data visualization, especially with the legend built in, rather than having to write our own when color coding. So this does a lot better job with the jumbling up, in our opinion, and we're able to kind of see better data visualization for presentations. So kind of diving into some of the more power inside of ggplot2, still using the qplot, we're able to write a lot of the same lines of code, but as we saw, there's a huge jumbling up, low caret, low price. We're going to be using this alpha, and that's going to allow us to lower the transparency. And again, it's going to let us see what we already kind of know, but there's a high kind of density, um, low caret, low price. Speaking of density graphs, we're going to be diving into ggplot function, and ggplot uses aesthetic mapping, and it uses the plus notation to add more functions to kind of further create your data visualizations. So in ggplot, we're going to be calling our data set, and then we're going to aesthetically map out caret and price, and then we're going to be using the geom density function inside of ggplot, and this is going to allow us to create a density graph, and again we're going to see low price, low caret, that there's a high concentration of points there. And ggplot allows us to have a lot more powerful graphs, and we'll kind of see that in times to come. So with using smoothers, we're going to be using ggplot, calling it the data again, aesthetically mapping out caret and price, and we use that plus notation to kind of color code our graph by cut. And then we're going to add a geometric smoother on top of all that. So very powerful data visualization that we're able to get with a couple lines of code. And this is all because of the grammar of graphics and being able to aesthetically map out our variables. So one last thing we wanted to point out was that these two lines of code are the exact same but in different order. So it's these jitter and the color coding. And what we wanted to point out is that because of the order, and the order matters because what's going on here is the color coding gets overridden by the jitter function, and that's good to know, especially when plotting, because this can allow you to have very complicated graphics, but also is very important to note because one of the functions that you're calling inside of ggplot can get overwritten. So we hope you enjoyed this introduction lesson to ggplot2, and thank you for watching.